So lately, I've been spotting some coins that are still yet to make the wave one. So they're going to produce another all time high, such as my previous idea on Cardano. So this set me back to XLM to check it out and see, are we seeing the same thing with with XLM as Cardano? So I went back and reanalyzed, and I came up with this new count, which suggests that no, actually, it was a wave one and this is a wave two. I believe this is important because we're not expecting XLM to move up until it's actually time for a massive bull run. And I think this is a good advantage to have in a crypto that you're looking to buy because you actually have like a large structure that you can sort of use as a guide to getting into the market rather than having a market that hasn't topped yet and we still haven't seen whatever correction is coming after that. So this led me to think a few things. But first, I just want to explain what this count means and why would it be looking the way that it does if I'm to suggest that this is the count basically. So after the 2020 crash, I believe what happened here was that 1 2 1 2 small wave twos led to massive alternation to the upside in a big way. So, for example, you had 1 2, and then you had 1 2 of wave three, and then you had wave three, but then wave four expanded A, B, C, D. Oops, hang on, try that again. A, B, C, D, and then E. So we had one expanded wave four within wave three, but then you had the final move up for wave three. And then for wave four of the larger, five wave move, the larger degree wave four, you had A, B, C, D, E, which then led to the final fifth wave. So even though it appears as though there's something else going on, like I've always thought, never been completely convinced of this move, I think that explaining it in this particular way helps get rid of any potential thinking like, you know, maybe that it was something else, basically. Like this could have been an A, B, some kind of C down, which I really don't think it fits with the waves, according to Arias wave. So all it did going back to XLM was kind of solidify the idea that maybe XLM is one of those cryptos that is actually getting ready for a massive move up, right? With a proper 1 2 structure. When it comes to XRP, really that particular crypto is it's not very easy to understand. It's not like this pattern. At least I can come up with a count for this. But when it comes to XRP, it's just a little bit all over the place. So I'm inclined to lean towards XLM. Now, what does this mean in terms of the retracement? Now, I have this really old view on where pullbacks come down to, and it's always been the previous fourth wave of the previous third wave. So the previous third wave being blue wave three, well, we can see that wave four within that expanded. But really, wave four started down here, and the lowest point was right here, right? I'll just mark that out so you can see it right there. So I'm of the opinion that there's a good possibility that this wave E that I believe is happening now could terminate at this level, 0.058. All right. I look, At the moment, we're just waiting and seeing, but I'm going to go down to the smaller degree to discuss what I believe is going on with the current structure, right? Um, let's just do that now. So if we go to we'll start with the 4-hour chart so we don't zoom into much too crazily. I think that's probably a good start. So here I have a count laid out that suggests that after that spike up, we had a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then since then, all we have seen is a type 2 expanded zigzag wave A, which means that, well, we're probably in a wave B now. So we're probably going to see a wave B down. So this gives me the impression that although, a weak wave move, a weak 5 wave move suggests that there is underlying strength in the market, it's still in a downtrend. So to me, what that kind of tells me, especially given the larger pattern, is that this is not just going to move up willy-nilly, because that means it'd be in a wave 3. If XLM surpasses this level here, where that spike ended, right? That is basically telling us that this bear market is over. Okay, that's the level to watch. If XLM goes above 20 cents or 0.19 or whatever it is, then this bear market, I think it's over. We are off to the races, and I don't think it's going to stop at all-time highs. I believe it's going to go even higher, right? Because we completed a complete wave 1. According to my count, it's a complete wave 1. Whereas there's other cryptos out there that still haven't completed that 5 wave move. So what I'm suggesting is that this is going to be drawn out, right? Because unless, you know, like I don't think it's going to happen. Like to see just a move down from here, it doesn't sound likely, because if we're just seeing a zigzag, then we're probably just going to see a lot of chop happening for wave B, right? And then C, etc. Right? It's going to be I believe it's going to be a drawn out process. And I think that's because whilst all other cryptos are kind of topping, etc., this is already at the point where it's almost finished its correction. Whereas if other cryptos have yet to complete their first move, then what's going to happen after that? Is it going to be like a sharp, uh, one sharp move down before another move up? Like I don't know. I can't speculate on that type of thing, right? Not to say that I haven't seen it before, but I can't speculate on it. It's not something that I would feel comfortable trying to predict. But this type of chart is something that I believe I can use. Now, if this area is where it terminates, I'll be buying there. I'll be buying a good amount when it gets there, right? Because it's in line with the count. It's in line with the wave 2, right? And when could it happen? We don't know. It could happen in 6 months, right? We just don't know. Wave E's are the most hardest wave to try to predict. Well, they all are really, but wave E's, especially if they are basically like a week. How can I say it? The first wave was a week 5 wave move. So I would imagine that this would chop out for a while and then would see a 5 wave move down, right? Unless it was the first move of a zigzag, which would be a wave 1. Sorry, it'd be a wave A of a zigzag, right? And then we'd see the wave B and the C, that'd be wave one. And then a correction, wave two, choppy choppy, wave three zigzag, choppy choppy, four, wave five zigzag. You get me? So that's the kind of thing that could happen if it's going to chop out like crazy, and it's going to be like just a bunch of choppy mess. But it's going to be something that is very consistent with basically a type 1 week 5 wave move, which is the hardest wave to predict or to identify. But because of its positioning as the last wave here, it shouldn't be that hard to see what that chop is all about moving forward. And because it's falling back to what I now believe is the perceived wave 4 of the previous third wave, this is a lot of information now, right? It's all sort of coming together. So whilst everything else is still, topping out if it needs to, um, I believe there are clues as to why, and I'm going to be posting more videos over the coming days that will kind of shed some light on each of these top 50 cryptos, or at least the ones that I believe are worth mentioning, especially the ones that really stick out as meaningful and have some, like, give away some clues as to what they're doing. And you'll notice that there are some that have a similar setup, but wave one ended early on and everything else was a correction, right? So, for example, I think, especially with like H bar, I've been noticing recently that the first move was a wave one up until roughly like this point, and then we be like A, B, C, and now we're in D. And then there'll be a move down. We can't predict how that will go, but it'll be somewhat in line with this type of thing, right? But it's not the same as H bar, sorry, Cardano, where it needs to produce another high, etc. And there are a few of them that are doing that as well. I dare say we could possibly even see Bitcoin doing the all-time high thing in the same way, for the same reason it still hasn't completed its 5 wave move. And I think these are the types of clues that I've been looking for, that finally now I have them, and I'm going to start sort of reporting on them because they are very intriguing. All right, so thanks for watching.